Welcome to Tabletop Gaming Guild. Tabletop Gaming Guild is all about the experiences and memories that playing tabletop games with friends and families can create. Today we are going to be learning Sixth Realm, and we have Drake Villareal here from Final Front Games to teach us how to play this game.
Hello.
Hello, Drake. Do you want to, if you want to do a little introduction for yourself in the game?
Yeah, I'm as mentioned, I'm one of the co-designers. I also design the solo mode, and I'm the lead developer on the project. Not much else to say. I've worked on a few other titles like Merchant's Cove, Spook Manor, Solani, and a few others. And yeah, this is definitely my heaviest game to date, so I'm excited to see how people like it. And yeah, whenever you're ready, I can jump into the explanation. I'm going to remove a few of the extra pieces here for the player colors we're not using. No blue, no pink.
I know Evan was really excited to play this, but unfortunately he's not feeling well today. He's already backed or planning to back the Kickstarter. It's on Kickstarter right now, right?
Yeah, we just finished up the Kickstarter. So.
Okay. So can pitch people still pledge, late pledge?
Yeah, so we're actually one of a few trial campaigns that is letting. Sorry, I'm a little distracted. Letting people late pledge directly through Kickstarter,
Okay.
rather than some third-party pledge manager. Occasionally, I get an error here. I'm not sure if you guys can see this tile. If you can, there's no problem.
Yep, you can see it fine.
If not,
I can at least.
we can.
Yep, I can see all
You
the
can?
tiles there. Yeah, nothing
Okay,
looks errored out.
Okay. Yeah, great. So whenever you guys are ready, I can launch into it here and get you guys going. Okay, so thematically, what's happening here is we've set several games in a universe that we call the Five Realms, and the Five Realms is sort of a lighthearted, humorous take on Tolkien-esque fantasy. And of course, we have lovely art by the Micho, who is also from Macedonia, which is where our company is based. So in this game, the Sixth Realm is essentially the ancestral homeland of the inhabitants of the Five Realms. So they used to live here, and thousands of years ago, a curse of sorts pushed them out, and they lived in modern day of the Five Realms. And the curse was actually caused by the infighting between the races. So the curse has recently fallen away as, for the first time in thousands of years, peace has been restored to the Five Realms, which is sort of the events that happened in some of the previous games like Cavern Tavern, Rice Nobility, Merchant's Cove, Bardwood Grove, etc. So this is sort of the next step of them going into their ancestral homeland to sort of discover what was there and resettle it. So in the game, the players represent people who are on these excursions to this new old kingdom. We have some setup tiles here, so I'm just going to get you guys squared away with that really quick. That'll get each of you 1 ink, and it'll allow you to flip the book as depicted here. So that'll be your Adventurers Guild book and your Merchants Guild book. And a purple seal, a gray seal, and then the higher number is definitely 6. So we're going to put your counselor here. Oops. Counselor here. And your counselor is going to go here. I'll give the first player to orange. Okay, sorry. There's a little bit of setup stuff that the scripting doesn't handle. Okay, so in this game, what you're going to be doing is taking actions based on which of the guilds is currently in favor with the queen. So if you turn your attention to this wheel down here, This is going to sort of dictate the flow and pace and the way that each of the games is going to play out. So what it's saying here is that while the scepter is pointing to one of these tiles, that guild, so in this case the Scribes Guild, is considered to be the primary guild. The ones on the sides are considered to be secondary guilds. So on your turn, when you're deciding which guild you're going to take actions with, you can always take actions with the primary guild for free. If you want to take an action with one of the secondary guilds, you're going to need to exhaust one of your resources that matches the color of the guild that you want to influence. So in this case, it would be your red or blue resource in order to influence one of those two guilds. That's fairly expensive. It's something that I wouldn't recommend doing until you have a real solid plan for why you would want to do that. You'll be deciding which of these you want to take an action with. Then you'll be able to, coming over here, you'll be able to exhaust resources that match the current guild to gain increases in your reputation with that guild. So this would take you, by exhausting this resource, which is flipping it over, you'll go from 1 action point to 3 action points with the Scribes Guild. At this point, once you've exhausted all the resources you want, this will fall back down, and you'll get action points for this turn. And those action points have to be spent within the domain of the Scribes Guild. So the Scribes Guild is the smallest one, and you could see it here on the board. All the actions are detailed, and I'll get to them in a minute. And for the other 5 actions in the game, you can see the banners, which are in the correspondent areas to those actions. Most actions only have a few actions that you can take with them, and they have variable costs there. The other thing that you can do with action points, if you come back over here to the guild track, or I'm sorry, to the Stone Council wheel, is you can move up this influence track. So that's what this symbol here means, is that you could spend any faction action point to move on this. As you move, you'll land on things and you'll collect those bonuses, including the ability to place out more counselors. Counselors are going to come off of your board, and essentially what counselors let you do is fight for the first player marker. So every time the guild wheel points to a guild that has somebody as the faction leader, if that, or as the lead counselor, if that player does not have the first player marker, they'll take it. You hold on to the first player marker until it is taken back from you by a different counselor. So that is the way that you place counselors out, as well as grab a few benefits. And this, again, this is always available to you to intermix with your actions. So if you had 3 action points with the Scribes, you could spend 2 here, and you could spend 1 here, breaking them up however you'd like. So yeah, that is the basic flow of things, is that this is going to rotate around. And as it does, all players are going to be taking this action. So starting with the first player, you would run through your turn. It would go to the next player. Once all players have completed it, this is going to rotate and point to the next guild, at which point the process will continue. You'll do that for 6 rounds within each year. After the 6th round, whichever player is higher on this track here, and we'll get to this, is going to become the Queen's champion. And what they get to do is they get to turn this wheel anywhere they want it to take the 7th action of the round. That's going to flip this over, designating it can't be taken again as the 7th action. And then all players will perform the 7th action. After that, this will reset to the top. Players will get a chance to swap these out, or swap the position of these. And then a new year will start up at the top. The game plays out over the course of 3 years or 21 rounds. In each round, you'll get to take 1 turn. All right. So the points in the game are going to come from a few places that I'll point to. On your board, you've got this area here called the court. Unique colors of meeples there at the end of the game will score you 1 point apiece. So there's a few points to grab there. There's a few points to grab here in the building area. If you have a house that is in a row or column that has been completed full of these foundation tiles, you'll get 1 point for each row or column per house. So again, there's a small handful of points that you can grab from the building area. There's a few more points to be had from these artifact tiles, and these are essentially going to be competitive checks amongst the two of you for who has the most of certain things. And as long as you are tied for these things, you are considered to have the most. So as long as the other player isn't straight up beating you, you will earn these points. And so, for instance, what this is saying is that if you have the most or tied most red and green history seals, you'll get 3 points. And if you have the most of either, you'll get 1 point. And this one, likewise, is the most purple meeples will get 2 points. There's a little more points to be had here, again, but it's still just one of the small ways you could score points. Similar to the artifacts, though perhaps a little more explosive, is the relics scoring. So you can build towers out here on this map, which are going to claim these tokens. And these tokens are going to go into the relic cabinet that each player has. And at the end of the game, you're going to divide the number of things. So if you take this red seal relic, for instance, you're going to divide the number of red seals you have by your position on this track, and you'll score points for that as well. So if you can get this all the way up to 1 for 1, every red seal you have will be worth 1.2. This can be a significant source of points, but you have to really invest in it. And it's risky because it doesn't give you chained benefits. The last and most important, because this is where the majority of your points will come from, is the challenge mechanism down here. So as players gain the Queen's Ambition, which is going to move them up this track, when they land on the second space of the track will reset each round, so you can go up this multiple times. You're going to be prompted to put a challenge out on this board. You have 5 challenges in your hand, and you're welcome to rotate them, but they will snap. Oops, I might have to turn off snap for that. Yeah, you should be able to rotate them the way that you see fit. Okay, yeah, this is a rotate snap point, so I might need to get them to fix that.
Yeah.
At that point, you'll take one of your challenge tokens that you want to create a challenge for, and you're going to create a challenge. And it's easier if I just show you. So you place this here. This is going to score you 4 points immediately. So placing out challenges is a sort of free source of points, and you are highly encouraged to place out challenges. Then, at the end of the game, what this is going to do is it's telling players that if you have both 2 green history seals and 4 total rank bar raises, you're going to score 4 points. And all players are entitled to score these at the end of the game. When you place out these double wide challenges, because in the 2-player game, it's this sort of diamond shape instead of a triangle, it's also going to immediately create a challenge here in the middle. So this is telling you if you have 3 gray meeples and 2 green seals, you'll also get 3 points. So with this challenge placed out, 7 points have been put up for grabs for players at the end of the game. And you're going to get the opportunity to do that 3 times. The final way you could score points is once you've gotten to the end of this track here, all excess Queen's Ambition, which is the little purple crown you see everywhere, will turn into victory points. So what you're trying to do is essentially work your way towards these challenges and your opponent's challenges, as well as the little bits of tertiary scoring from the different other little systems that I mentioned. So as far as playing the game, what I'll do is I'm going to explain what each of the guilds do, starting from the left of the player board, so starting from the green guild and working our way right. Once I've explained how those work, and it should go pretty quick, I'll explain more sort of in depth how a turn works, and then I'll let you guys get going from there. So the green guild is the Merchants Guild, and they are situated here in this area. And When you take a Merchant's Guild action, you'll spend 1, 2, or 3 points depending on what you're trying to do. And that action will also always involve moving the cart. So as the first player, you get the advantage of moving the cart anywhere you want to. So you might go here and spend 2 in order to flip the book underneath of your gray guild. So the action that you take is correspondent to the banner that you just drove onto. So I want to flip my book. I spend 2 merchant action points to drive it here and flip my book. At this point, I now have a choice. I can either go clockwise or counterclockwise, and whichever direction I pick, I have to keep going that way for the rest of my action. So then I might drive here and spend 1 action point to refresh my purple and brown resource. And then I might go here and spend 3 to buy a brand new red and blue resource. And then the cart will be left here for the next player. So the next player will have to drive it from wherever you left it. That's how the Merchant's Guild works. They're mostly about resources and economy, allowing you to cheaply refresh spent resources, gain new ones, and flip books. Speaking of flip books, if you take a look at your player board, each of your guilds have these books below them, and the book can be on one of 2 sides. On this side, it's giving you a +1 anytime you take that guild's actions. So right now, if you took a blue guild action, you would get 2 action points, 1 from the track and 1 from your book. If the page is blank, you get nothing. But it's showing you that when the book flips, it'll become +1. And then here it's showing you that when the book flips again, it's going to push the minimum rank up. So every time you spend this, it's always going to drop as far as it can go. So by moving these up, your floor will increase, and you'll become a lot more efficient at those particular actions. Likewise, the bar raises, that's 1 distinct bar raise counted for this challenge in the middle, which is 4 bar raises. Next, I'll talk about the builders. So the builders are sort of another economic action, and you could find them here in this area. When you take builders actions, you can spend 2, 3, or 4 action points to put out a size 1, 2, or 3 foundation. The rules for building foundations, there's 2 of them. The first is about placement. Placement, it has to go around the edge or adjacent to something that's already been placed. So, that'll be fun. The other rule is that you can't split one of these 2 spaces in half by doing this or something like this. You have to discreetly cover the whole thing, in a single action.
And they have to be, I assume,
also
orthogonally adjacent, not like just diagonally.
Correct. It has to be orthogonally adjacent. So flat sides touching. Every time you place a foundation, you have the option of building a house onto that foundation. So place the foundation. The benefit of placing a foundation over top of something is that, and this is true for essentially everything in the game, when you cover something up, you gain that thing. So when you cover up this bonus, which is the guild action bonus for the Grey Guild, you would immediately gain that benefit, which I'll explain in just a minute. But then you have the opportunity to build a house for 1 or 2 action points. Houses will come off your board. And when you build a house, if you paid 2 action points, you get both the row and column benefit. If you pay 1 action point, you have to choose either the column or the row benefit that you want to take. Building houses is also very good because underneath of them, it'll unlock a spot that you can place meeples in the future, and I'll get to that when we start talking about the envoys. Just quickly while we're here, some of the things that you might see is some book flips, and these are guild action bonuses. So in this case, we covered up the gray one. A guild action bonus are these 6 tiles over here. When you gain one, you'll immediately take the benefit that it shows. So you might grab this one and put it in the gray column, and it'll immediately give you 1 ink. Then every time for the rest of the game that the builders become the primary guild, you'll gain that benefit again. So it essentially allows you to get a recurring benefit as well as the one-time use. And that's that action. And this action here is shaped like the council track, and that's what it does, is it allows you to move on the council track twice. So you move twice on this track, gaining whatever benefits it shows. That is the builders area. Next, I'll talk about the Red Guild, which is the adventurers. And the adventurers are here in this dungeon. And the dungeon is essentially just a track that has the occasional wrinkle in it. So every one action point can move your lantern once, or your candle once through the dungeon. So for 5 action points, you can go 5 steps forward. You're occasionally going to come to a split where you have to decide which way to go, and you can pick either path. Here, it's not that consequential. Once you do it here, you can no longer change over to this path. You have to stay on this left or right path, and that'll happen again here. So as you land on something in the dungeon, you'll immediately gain it, and that'll be every space you step into. So if you step into the first 3 spaces, you'll gain an ink, remove an ink, gain or remove an ink. The other thing in the dungeon are these artifacts. So if you go down, you'll get to take an artifact from the display and put it beside your board. If you go up, you'll take 3 from the bag, which is this tile here. You'll pick one, and then you'll put the rest back. This is Queen's Ambition. This action here is the symbol that moves you up this track. So anywhere you see that symbol, that's what'll actually advance you up that track. I won't explain all the actions, but I will talk about these scrolls. So I haven't talked about scrolls in general yet, but essentially a scroll. Let's do that now on your player board. A scroll is a free action. So there's windows in this game where you can take free actions, and a scroll is. Oops, sorry, knocked my mic over. And a scroll is one of those actions. So when you're taking a free action, you just move an ink onto a scroll that does not already contain an ink and perform that action immediately. Which would be, in this case, a refresher resource. So the scrolls in the dungeon are just a little bit different. When you take those actions, you'll actually take an ink from your supply and you'll put it on the scroll in the dungeon. And the effect of the action is going to be based on the colors that you're adjacent to. So if you come here to refresh a resource, you could put it here to refresh the gray green resource. Or you could go here to get a bump in the guild, in the gray or green guild. Once that's blocked, nobody else can take that action, and this will clear away at the end of the round. The final little thing that I'll note here in the dungeon is this number that you see in the bottom of every room. That's where you're going to reset to when the round is over. So the deeper you go, you get a little head start for the next round. Find some shortcuts and whatnot. So if the round ended now, black would go back to space 2, and they would immediately gain the benefits of space 1 and 2. So there's a little benefit to getting out ahead in here. The next guild that I'll talk about is the Navigators Guild. That's the blue guild up at the top. There are 2 actions that you could take here. You can build towers and you could build bridges. I'm going to steal Orange's bridges for just a second to make the point. When you build bridges, there's no restriction, except you cannot build bridges out in the middle of an expanse. You have to lead in with at least one other bridge. So this would be legal. Towers cannot be built unless there's a completed section of bridge next to them. So this is now a completed section of bridge, and at least one of the bridges is in your color. So with this bridge place here, orange can now put a tower here or here. When you put a tower, you're going to get to look at this relic and the one below it, and then you're going to put one of those into your relic cabinet. Your relic cabinet has a bunch of different little rewards. and you'll take whatever reward you cover when you put it into your cabinet. Bridges, similarly, when you place a bridge, you're going to get whatever reward they cover. The cost to place out bridges is your first bridge each turn is 1, and then 2, and then 3. So it's 6 if you want to place out 3 bridges, 1 if you want to place out 1, and towers always cost 2.
All right. Now with the one completed bridge in one of your colors. So then if we say we had a situation where my orange bridge was here and Nathan had just one bridge piece here, could he place a tower here then?
He could not. You have to have your bridge as part of a completed.
Okay. So like if he had just one here and then I was the other 2, he could.
Yes.
Okay.
You'd both be eligible for both sides of this. And that is the Navigators Guild. I will next talk about the Scribes Guild. The Scribes are the most straightforward guild. They're all about ink. For 1 Scribes Guild action point, you can gain an ink, or you can scrub an ink off of a scroll. So once an ink has been placed, that scroll cannot be used until this ink has been removed and returned to the board, at which point the scroll is clean and eligible to be written on again. So that's what this action lets you do, is 1 to gain or remove, and then later in the game this may become relevant. For 3 scribe action points, you can wipe all of your ink away. So how do you get more scrolls? That would be through our last action, which is which is Historians Guild. The Historians Guild deal with this underground library here. So there are 2 features in the library. We've got the tradition tiles, and we've got the translators. Oops, some of these came out backwards. So for 1 action point, you can always move a translator. And you can only move each translator once per turn. So theoretically, you could move all 4 translators. When you move them, you just move them as far as you want within their column or row. So they're locked into their column or row. And then you gain the reward that they land on. Or you can purchase a tradition. And traditions, the cost of those is going to be based on where you put them onto your board. You can only buy traditions with a translator next to them. So the 4 in the corners are not eligible for purchase at this moment until you move guys. Once you've bought a tradition, it'll slot into the bottom of your player board. It'll cover something, giving you a reward immediately, and then that will be there for the rest of the game. It will provide you with a seal, and seals are important both for scoring and for your other scroll action, which is this one, which is to gain 1 popularity per different seal you have. So in this case, you'd get 2 popularity for that. And popularity is sort of the last thing that I'll talk about before I set you free here. And popularity is this track here. So when you gain popularity, you'll move up the track. Every time you hit this and sort of ring the bell, you'll get to take an envoy meeple from this boat. So at any given time, there will be a number of these out here. Once it gets down to 1, we'll replace them and the cost will go up. But you'll take the one that you want, and it'll sit in the holding area at the top of your board here. So there's a small, I'll get to that bonus in a second. Now I'll actually talk about the flow, the proper flow of the turn. So when your turn begins, so in this case, it would be orange as the first player. The first thing you'll do is you'll gain the benefit shown here if that's on that proper guild. So if you had this here, the first thing that would happen on your turn is you would gain 1 Queen's Ambition. The next thing that happens is your first of 2 free action phases, where you may take as many free actions as you want to. Free actions, there are 2 of them. There's spending ink and moving meeples, which I'll demonstrate both over on the orange player board. So spending ink is as simple as place the ink on a cleared scroll, take the effect. Meeples will be moved down from from the holding area onto your player board. So they can always go into this holding area, provided there's space, and there is a lot of space. They can also be placed into these 3 spots once they've been uncovered. And the meeple will always grant you a benefit that is matching their color or their faction. So if you placed this guy here, you would get a bump up in the Adventurers Guild immediately. If you placed him here, you would have gotten to flip the Adventurers Guild book. And if you placed him here, you would get an Adventurers Guild seal, which supplies are very limited. There's only a few seals out in a 2-player game. The other place you could send a meeple is on a tradition. So if the tradition has this symbol at the bottom, it means that you could send a meeple to it, and it will give you whatever bonus it shows. So this is another book flip that you could earn for the Red Guild. So that is how that works. That is how popularity works. The other little thing of note is that it's possible when you get a new meeple to make pairs of meeples, and that will just give you a small little benefit. Rather than coming alone, bringing a friend, if you put 2 different meeples here, you've earned the Queen's approval, and she will grant her favor to you. So you'll get 1 Queen's ambition for that. If you bring 2 of the same colored meeples, they will work together, and they will refresh one of your resources that match their color. So using those to your advantage can be very useful. So whenever you see this question mark popularity, the question mark refers to the current round or the current year. So in the first year, those are all worth 1, and then they'll be worth 2, and then they'll be worth 3. I think at this point I have covered everything, so let me just make sure I haven't messed up any of the board states. And if you have any questions, I'm more than happy to field them. Haven't taught this in a while. I've been sort of working on the next thing also. So, yeah.
All right. I think I got most of my questions in while we were talking. How about you, Nathan?
I'm thinking pretty good. The only thing is I assume with the traditions you have to fill from left to right.
No, you can build them wherever you want, provided you can pay for it.
Okay.
Although there is one free tradition that you could gain in the game in the builders area, that has to be placed into one of your cheapest open spots. So
Okay.
both 3s are open. You can pick which 3 you want to put it in.
And that free tradition, does that come from the normal rules as if you took the action?
Correct. Yeah. It must be, quote, translated at that moment.
I'm sure we'll have questions as we go, but
Yeah.
potentially get started.
And then if you'd like, I have some very, very basic strategy stuff, or I can just withhold and let you guys play. So.
Yeah. No, probably getting a little bit strategy ideas. It wouldn't hurt.
Okay, so the sort of like 3 basic things that I mentioned to people is 1, don't undervalue popularity. It'll seem slow, but the meeples are really kind of a force multiplier for your engine. The second thing is try to avoid taking 1 strength actions in most cases. Sometimes it won't make sense, but trying to avoid 1 strength actions is important. And the last thing is think about momentum. Sometimes it's good just to get ready for the next guild coming up rather than dumping stuff into a guild that's not going to show up until the end of the round. So those are the 3 small little tidbits that I would usually share with people, and we'll probably include in the rulebook somewhere. So, and with that, that would bring us to the Scribes Guild, and then we have Orange as the first player and the first guild. So the first thing that would happen is you fire off your action bonus, which you don't have. Yep. Now you're in a free action phase, which you may use or not use.
Yeah, and seeing as how I don't have any seals other than the 1, and that would just give me 1 popularity right now. Correct?
Yeah, that is correct.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't feel too good to do that at the moment. Then I guess. So yeah, so I got one action in that guild. I'll go and take it, which means I just can get one ink and
Yeah,
add
so
it.
you can either take a 1 action, or you can exhaust your resource
Right.
and take 3 action, but because essentially it'll bump this up to the 3.
Ah, okay.
But then you'll be down this resource.
Let's see. And 3, really, right now for the scribe one doesn't do anything other than I could clear all my ink that I have not spent anywhere off the board.
Right, so it would let you grab more ink or potentially move up the council track. So this is one of those very rare situations, first action scribes, where it really makes sense either way to do a 1 or a 3, I think.
Yeah. Yes, I guess I'll go ahead and take it as the 1 then. We'll just kind of see how that goes. I mean, I thought about bumping it to 3 and then just going down the track here. Actually, I guess that's one thing. With the counselors here, um, there's just space for 1. Once we get all these filled, then if you get another um, one of these guys here, what happens?
So you can actually place them wherever you want, and that includes kicking another player out or yourself out. So you can forcefully retire one of somebody's counselor. In that case, that player moves in and they gain a victory point.
Ah, okay.
That can only happen twice. If that happens twice, whoever is the active counselor will remain there until the end of the game.
Okay. All right. And then so yep, I've done the action for the guild, and then I assume we get another free action then if we wanted to.
Yes.
And I'm not going to take it at the moment. So then makes it Nathan's turn then.
Yep. You got it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Just essentially do the same thing. Just gonna
Yep. Nice and
take the
easy.
1 action and get 1 ink.
All right. And then I presume same thing, no free actions. So we'll send that on to the Adventurers Guild, where Orange is still first player.
All right. So
a glut of early ink available at this moment.
Yeah, and
or the potential to jockey, but I'll try to keep my commentary to a minimum.
Yeah. So looking at that, then I don't have. So I'm probably going to spend. Or I guess it's my turn. If I wanted to spend the resource to bump myself up to being a 3, is that before or after the free action of
It is
being able to spend?
before. Or, I'm sorry, it is after your free actions.
Yeah, that's what I assumed. So I will spend 1 ink then to go and get myself 1 popularity. All right. And we're now in the guild action, so I will go ahead and flip my resource over. Which does that? I mean, do you?
Yeah, it goes here and then goes back down. It's more useful, once you know that, or at the low ends, it's not always necessary. It's more for when like this is already up here, or when you're taking 8 actions that it becomes really a lot more useful.
Yeah. All right, so that's going to get me to 3 actions. So I've got 3 actions here now, and I figure at least going. Feel like going all 3 is not bad here. So I'll take 2 ink and then remove the 1 ink that I spent.
Mm-hmm.
Again, yeah, we got a whole lot of ink.
Oh yeah, the traditions are coming.
All right.
Okay, and then because of the flexible nature of the second free action phase, it is important to tell people when your turn's over. Not that you're necessarily done, but
yeah. Yeah, that's what I was trying to figure. Is do I actually? Yeah, I think I will spend the 1 ink to flip this back over, and then that'll be it for me. Because you could do 2 actions, right, for your free actions, and that's basically just putting the ink on, and then what's
Or
the
moving the meeples through. Yeah.
or removing the meeples, yeah. And when you remove the meeples, do they just go back up to the top, or do they just get?
Oh no, I'm sorry. Moving the meeples.
Oh,
So
moving.
moving
Oh,
meeples
yeah,
from up here down is the other free action.
yeah. Now, do the meeples just stay there forever? Then at that point,
Yeah. Once they've moved, they're locked in.
or even on
And
like the
they are a
traditions.
criteria on much of the scoring.
Yeah.
What's that?
And even on the traditions too. Like, yeah, they.
Correct. Yeah, they'll be locked in.
All right.
So John pretty much read my mind at exactly what I was planning on doing.
Uh, you know what? You're just a copycat, Nathan. That's the
Uh-huh.
ideas.
So yes, I am going to do exactly the same thing once again. Where do I mark that one point?
Over here.
Oh yes. Okay, and then I am gonna flip that. Move for 3. Get rid of that ink and then gain 2. And then spend 1 to flip that back. And that's my turn. Identical again.
All right. So now we're on to the Merchants Guild, and we have a new first player.
Okay, Merchant's Guild is this one, so I really do like the idea of flipping books.
And you have +1 to this when you take it.
And I can basically send it anywhere I want. So basically what I can do
Yeah. So are you going to take it for 2, or are you going to exhaust your resource and do it for 4?
so 3, if I do 3, what was 3 again?
That's to buy a brand new resource.
Ah,
And it comes to you face up. And you can own up to 1 extra copy of each resource. Which, if you have ways of refreshing them, is very strong.
mm-hmm. So yes, I will flip that. So I get 4 actions. Or, sorry, yeah, 4 actions. I'm up here.
Yeah, so that'll go to 3, and then 3 + 1. You could set this to 4 and drop this back.
Yeah, so I will get the new resources which come from somewhere.
Yeah, they're down below the board.
Okay, and I can take whichever I want.
It depends where you drive the wagon.
Oh yes, okay, that's right. I'll drive it here. I'm gonna focus on green for a little bit, I think. So I'll get that one, and then I can spend 1 more to flip.
So at this point, you can't do that.
Oh, because I have to move again.
Yeah, the wagon has to move on to that. So if you want to buy a different resource and then drive on to green, you can.
That makes
Or
okay.
buy a different resource and drive on to this one. It counts as green. So you have a few ways of approaching it.
Mm-hmm. I like red, so I'll get the red resource and then drive on to green and okay, yes, now I'll get it.
Okay, there you go.
And that should be my turn.
All right. Well, I was also going to buy a red resource, so I think I'm going to flip my green. And so then I'll move here, spend 3 to buy the red resource.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Do I want to follow what Nathan did, or do I instead? See, I only have I have 3 total in that action, so yeah, I do not have the force like he did. So yeah, I'm going to take the resource then. that's then it for me.
Okay. So this is going to rotate on.
Now, getting these
Black.
seals down here. What was the other? Well, how did we get these? One of these
So
four
you
here.
can get them by meeple placements under your towers, and you could find them on space 14 of the dungeon.
That's right.
And then otherwise, getting seals is every tradition comes with the seal.
Yep.
Speaking of traditions, we are now at the Historians Guild. Now that it's too late, this is what I mean about momentum, where if you take a second purple resource, all of a sudden now you can do this action at strength 5 instead of 3.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's still very useful, especially with the blue coming up.
Yeah, it's good.
But you might also want to consider that you're down your resource for this. I've said too much.
Yeah.
I'm gonna turn off my camera for a minute here, and my wife brought me a little food, so.
All right.
But I am listening.
Two. Do you actually apply any of these? And so I think that's what I'm going to do. Let's see if I want to do that. So I will flip my purple, and I want to acquire this one. So that I'm spending 3, so I can go here and immediately get to remove this. I don't remember, do I immediately get the condition as well? Or do I have to put ink on it?
I think that's an ink one, so you'd have to spend an ink on that.
So
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll spend an ink, then that moves that red up one. Hopefully. Right, okay.
All right. And
this will fill in?
I was going to ask, do we instantly refill or not? All right.
After that player is done.
Yep. All right. So let's see here. That one is what you can just spend. You can flip over any book, no matter what color meeple you place.
It's based on the color of meeple. So red meeple flips red book. These ones get popularity. This one refreshes this specific color of resource. This one lets you take an immediate action at strength 2 based on the color of the meeple. So a purple meeple would let you take an immediate 2 strength historian action.
Okay. And this one here basically gives you 1+1 per red. So just having this one makes that an ink action that gives you 2 popularity.
Correct.
All right. That's what I was wanting. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and flip this one here to get 3. I'm going to transcribe this one and put this over the 2 popularity spot, which is going to bump me up 2 on the popularity.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do we resolve the popularity immediately?
Yeah. The moment you hit it, you immediately cycle back and grab your meeple.
All right. Let's see, which meeple do I want? Yeah, that's the question I hadn't thought was like, oh, what do I want for meeples? I kind of like the idea for getting that. So, yeah, we'll go ahead and, or no, that doesn't go there. That goes here.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And as soon as I get, 2 here that are like different ones, or 2 of the same, I then get the other bonus.
The bonus.
All right. Yeah. So that was my full 3 point spent for this. So then I have free action. I've got a lot of ink. So why don't we bump up to more popularity? Now, does the popularity track reset at the end of the round or anything? Or
Nope. You'll maintain your progress. The only thing is it'll go up every time the boat has to refill.
okay, all right, yeah, I'm going to go up to more popularity then.
All right, you got it. And
that's it for me
Yeah.
then.
all right, that's both of you. So we're on to the Builders Guild, and Black is still the first player.
Okay, so okay, so what I'm gonna do is I will flip this so that I have
That would give you
3.
3 action points.
I am only gonna get the
Yeah, it's
2
2 in a
sides.
house or 3.
Get it 2 in a house, and I want to, and I can do anywhere on here.
Anywhere, yeah.
Yeah, so I can go here, which immediately gets me one of my trigger effects, but let's do the house first. Get that out. Well, the house is.
So just so you know, this one won't trigger again until Builders the next round. So you'll get it immediately no matter which one you put.
Yeah. Okay. But popularity, and I do get it immediately right, so I can do that.
Okay, so if you want to put it on that one, it's got to go up here.
Oh, okay. Sorry, that was specifically the gray. Okay.
Yeah, and that's the green one.
There you go. So that's one I want. I'm going up to popularity, which gives me a person, or one of the meeples from the boat. I'm gonna be just like John. I think and pick red, and then reset. And where's my houses? Which one? So it's the this one. So that house goes on there, and
So it's either a Queen's Ambition or a bump in the Blue Guild.
well, blue's coming up next, so it does make sense to blue. Okay.
All right, I'm in a slightly more not as good position, I guess, as I've only got 1 point and no resource nor ability to flip that resource back over.
So this might be a situation where your ability to change the guild you're interacting with could come in handy. So if you spend a red resource, you can interact with the Blue Guild a turn early.
Yeah,
And then you could spend your other red resource and interact with them strength 4 this turn.
yeah, that's what I was kind of wondering if I do that. But then, I mean, that would get me a head start on that for sure. But then next round, I'd be kind of in the same boat then, wouldn't I? With basically just doing a 1 strength action of that.
So you'll be able to, if you see the rewards up there,
Oh yeah,
there are a lot of rewards that you could roll into your next turn. They're like resource refreshes or bumps in guilds or, extra meeples for placements. So there are ways to make it worth it. But at a minimum, you'll be getting to do it 4 this turn and then 2 next turn. Which is probably better than Builder 1, because Builder 1 actually you can't afford anything.
yeah. I was like at most I would like just basically wind up bumping one on that track, but yeah, I don't see that being as good. So yeah, let's go ahead and flip both of these then, and we'll do this at strength 4.
Okay, I'll set your little slider guy if it matters.
Yeah. All right. So so I'm just trying to. All right. So this one here is a free.
So these are not, they don't give you the things that are shown on them.
Mhm.
They're scoring criterias
That's
for
right.
that thing at the end of the game.
That's right. So I'm just trying. So
But
that's
there are bonuses to be had when you claim one of those with a tower. You'll
mhm.
get one of the bonuses that you cover in your relic cabinet. So you might be able to gain like an ambition, popularity, ink, etc.
All right. Well, let's see. I'm definitely building at least one bridge out here. And that's going to be. So we go with 2 bridges. I would then get a resource flip.
Yep.
And a bump on the blue track.
Yes.
All right. Which that seems good to me.
And you have 1 action point left over, and the only place it fits is on the council track.
Yep. So I then move here, and that gets me 1 here.
Yep. And then 1 more, and you're able to place a challenge. So 2 is just the important threshold each round for that.
Yep. And I was looking at being able to do that with the relic cabinet. So, all right. Then I got free action, and I am, I think, well, actually, now I'm trying to figure out if it's good or not. I could spin this ink right now. That was going to get me 2 bumps on the popularity track,
Mm-hmm.
which would get me up here, reset,
And then back to 1.
back to 1. I would then get a meeple. I could then take, let's say,
Yeah, red or blue.
yeah,
They both have, payoffs.
yeah. So I then take the blue one. I can then I bump up on here,
Mm-hmm.
which then allows me to place a challenge out. Let's see. 6 resources. 5 unique seals, and then 5
Yes.
placed.
This is 5 meeples in the courtyard, in this courtyard area.
Of any color. Okay. I think I like that one for how I'm currently set up. Then the question is, where do I place it? So what's this symbol here? Which one's that
Those
one?
are the action bonuses, the guild action bonuses.
That's right. I mean, those seem like good things to get, but yeah, let's go with that. And I don't know which one's going to be easier to try and do. Oh,
Oops.
oh, you know what? Actually, it's whenever you drop it, it auto flips it, and then you can rotate it after. That fixes.
Oh, okay. That's good.
All right. And so then I get to place one of my challenge tokens out there right now.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go ahead and make this one 4 points. So that gets me 4 points right now.
Mm-hmm. And now you're both eligible to score these 2 different challenges. Sorry, this and this.
Yep. All right. I think that's everything that comboed on that.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I believe so. And then we're rotating to the navigators, and you are the first player.
All right. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take flip. That's then going to give me 6 actions total.
Mm-hmm. Yep, 6 action points. You got it.
All right. I believe I'm going to place a tower because that feels like something I probably want to do. All right. This one seems like so I'd get to take either one of these.
Yeah.
All right. What happens to the other one? Then you just discard it, or
It's just removed from the game. Yeah.
okay. Yeah. Do you want? I feel like this is going to be easier for an in-game scoring. That's what that means, right?
Yeah. So you're going to factor in your number of traditions into whatever your value up in the track is.
All right.
So if you get to 1-1 and you have all 6, you'll get 6 points.
All right. So right now, I can basically gain. Now, getting to the third spot on here is not going to do too much for me because is this going to reset at the end of the year?
Correct.
Okay, so it feels like probably not a good time to do that one. Getting 1 popularity, I feel like maybe making some progress on this track is the way to go.
Okay, you got it. So that is 2 of your 6. So now you have
Yep.
4 left.
Man, I got 4 left. Oh wow! All right. Getting to 4 does getting to 4 do anything for you here?
Getting there, no.
But getting
Each
past
subsequent
there,
spot, yeah. Although getting there does ensure that you're going to choose the 7th action of the round.
oh yeah, that's right. I forgot there was a 7th action. Yeah. I'm not as worried about that. So instead, sorry, I got
Well, if you know what it's going to be, you can theoretically prepare for it.
yeah, that's true. But I feel like placing 2 more bridges out seems like the play here for me. Now these
Yeah,
2
and that would leave you
bridges,
with 1.
would it? That'd be 1, 3, and leave me with 1. Yeah, because I could go in place and get another one of these, I guess, but I don't think do. All right, so that there, who's that guy?
That is to move a translator and gain
Ah,
the
that's
reward. So, like, if you need to remove ink while you're on the map, that's the way to do it. Or potentially gain the blue symbol is
yep.
here.
Or gain popularity, or yeah. All right. And this pretty much I now have to build beside something that.
Nope, you could build anywhere you want,
Oh yeah,
except
for the bridges.
out
Yeah,
in the middle.
that's right. All right, that one is the scribe. No. And the green one is that one. Now, our resources, are they going to flip at the end of the year?
No, you have
No.
to manually
Okay.
flip.
Yeah, and we have to, yeah, for each one of those. All right. That's, So, yeah, I think I'll move one of these guys here. Let's see. Do I want to remove ink? Yeah, I feel like removing ink is going to be one thing I want here. Because I want to be able to do that again. And then I can do this too, huh?
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll just move him back here and get me another bump on here.
You got it.
All right, and then yeah, I have no available ink, so I'm done then.
So you can technically move meeples if you want to.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot I could move Beebles, and I have 1 point left over, so I move on this track,
which is a counselor.
Yep. And nope, not there. I go there. I mean, I could take control of that one, or I could do the funny thing and Nathan right now has one turn of being in first. All right. And I can move Meeples. Yeah, I guess
So the thing I didn't mention is that
Mhm.
when you move a pair of meeples, they have to move at the same time. They don't have
Okay.
to go to the same place, but you can't like break the pair, remake it, break the pair, remake it.
Okay. All right. So yeah, they're wherever I put them, they have to go to the same place.
No, they just both have to go. They
Oh, they
don't
just.
have to go to the same place.
Ah, okay. Yeah, so I can't just be like, I'll move him and then I'll just add another single color and keep like kind of farming that bonus.
Yeah,
All right.
correct.
And didn't already.
Yeah, and you have the window at the beginning of your turn too, depending on how urgent something is or isn't.
Yeah. Um. Hmm. Yeah, I feel like. Do you want maybe wait until beginning is the way to go right now. Although he does have a meeple there. And there's yeah, so I'm going to move the red meeple down here and claim the red seal.
Yep, the one red seal in this game.
Yep. And then I have to move the blue one down now as well because of that.
Yes.
And do you want? We'll take a bump, I think, or no? Do you want? I'll just go ahead and start getting that bonus there because
Okay, so
yeah.
that's a point, and then when you send another blue guy, it's a bump on the blue track.
All right. Yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, but yeah, you don't have to do that at the same time to get that bonus. That's basically you're doing the
Right, that is
okay.
correct. Okay, so no more free actions. It's over to black.
Okay, so I'm gonna do weird.
And you may exhaust any number of resources before an
I'll
action.
exhaust them both, which gets me up all the way to 8 actions.
For the navigators, correct?
Oh yeah, sorry. Yes, the one.
Okay.
So same, just roll
Yeah.
cover. And I am basically going to build 3 roads of power.
Okay, I'll let you do that.
3 roads.
And you've already paid for it, so we'll go ahead and drain these back.
Here. Okay, so basically the 3 roads, one's gonna go here, which bumps up my
Scribes.
ground. And then one's gonna go here to bump up my green. These don't reset at the beginning of the round, do they?
Nope, they'll preserve.
Okay. And well, basically I'm just locking myself my ability to actually
And it is sort of last call for Queen's Ambition, because you'll have the 7th action to find it, and this action
don't think it's gonna
to
be.
potentially declare your challenge.
Actually, you know what? I'm not gonna do the green. I'm gonna go here and here. If I put the green back down. Now flip 2 again. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna beat him on Queen's Ambition, so I'm not prioritizing that yet this round.
Yeah.
And then I can build 1 power. No power. So I can go over here.
And that is the only spot you're eligible for.
That one goes away.
Destroy that one.
And that will go here. And I will move up on this track. Okay.
All right, you got it. So you have your free action window.
I guess I will flip another one. Oh, do
All
I
right.
want to move one down? I can move one down and get a resource,
Yeah.
right?
And again, you don't have to. And the red seal is gone.
Ah, oh. Oh, it's a seal, not a resource. That's right. Do I want to move my?
So if you send a second red guy here, you get to refresh a red resource.
Yeah, so I'll wait on that. Yeah. Okay, so I'm done.
Okay. So now what we do, we have the Queen's Champion, which is orange because they're ahead on the track. You may set this wheel to any position you'd like.
All right. Yeah. Don't have much in the way of resources at the moment. So pretty much I got basically a 2 action or a 1 action and anything on here. And the 2 at least gets me a tower. That feels probably the best. So actually, I was probably just going to go ahead and drop it on the.
Okay, so it'll stay right there.
Yep.
First player doesn't change. This flips. It cannot be selected as the 7th action for the rest of the game.
And yeah, I'm going to go ahead and drop a tower here.
Okay.
Let's see. There's basically. I care about gray seals or purple seals. And you want? We'll go with the gray seals.
Okay, and that gave you.
Oh yeah, I don't want that one. I wanted. See, either 1 popularity or. You want? Let's go ahead and take it.
So just so you both know, you're both going to gain an ink when the
Yep.
round restarts because of the dungeon.
Yep.
Yep. And I was just looking. Yeah, I was just trying to decide if I wanted to remove or because I'm going to also get a remove as well with the dungeon reset too. So, yeah, I think I'm just gonna.
You're not going to get a remove from the dungeon. You're just going to get the first spot.
Oh yeah, because I'm just starting at 1, right?
Right.
Yeah. In that case, then let's go ahead and remove that ink. Then.
Okay. So now it will be Black's turn once again on the navigation.
Mm-hmm. That's 3 right now. So I will stick with 3. I'm gonna build a. So that goes down.
Not that one.
Oh yeah. Wait.
You only got a
Oh,
1 in that
oh,
one
sorry.
right now.
I will make it 3.
There you. Yep.
I don't know. And I am basically gonna build road here. Get my green up 1. And build a tower.
That's the
That's not
house.
the right one. This is one.
There you go.
Here. Ooh, either one's are potentially good. I will go for the tower 1. And I will move an ink, yeah. Okay. That should be it for my turn. And I get that out.
Yep. So that's the end of the round. So there's one little bit of administration that happens here. So this is going to point up. This is going to reset. And then players will reset in the dungeon, in this case to space 1, and you'll both take 1 ink immediately. And then now, every player who was not the Queen's Champion, which is only one other player in a 2-player game, you're going to get to pick any 2 guilds on the wheel and swap them.
Okay. like options, but what I'll do is I will just swap the green and the red, just so.
There you go. And then it would start with orange, because nobody's taken the first player, with the Scribes Guild.
Scribes Guild again.
So this is part of what I meant about the momentum, where you almost want to kind of aggressively make sure that you're able to cash in on whatever's coming up, by keeping refreshes available, resources, bumps, etc.
Yeah, so I am going to use free action here. I'm going to go ahead and bump my popularity up 3.
Yeah.
So basically, I go all the way up and reset back to where I'm at. And so I get to take a meeple here. Let's take.
So there is a scribe meeple.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we'll take the scribe meeple. And let's go ahead and move him down, bump up, or I was actually trying to say or do I plan ahead for, that's kind of what I was going. It's like, do I take the scribe one to do more now?
Yeah.
Or do I, yeah, do you want to take the scribe meeple and do more now? That seems not bad. So that'll bump me up to then 3 actions. And
then merchants is coming up.
Yeah. So I'm going to remove 2 ink and then gain 1. And then I can spend that at the beginning of next turn. But yeah, let's kind of look how things, I guess, fall out from there. So yeah, nothing on my my end of turn free actions then.
All right, so that's Scribes Guild over to black.
Okay. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come this.
Yeah, so even though you guys took the same first 2 turns almost step for step, you can kind of see how the turn order and some other things, decisions start to sort of.
Yeah, we
diverge a little bit.
differentiated around like the 3rd or 4th round. Kind of, we decided to take a different path at least.
So that, flipping that with a free action. Now, these gather ink and removing, I can do that as many times as I want, or just once. I can't remember.
As much as you want.
So actually made sense to spend 2 to remove rather than 3 to remove all.
Correct. Yeah, the bulk is only good when you're removing 4 or more.
I'm actually up here 5 actions because I'm flipping this. So removing 2. So this goes away. This goes away. So I have 3 left. So I am going to gain 2 ink, and I'm going to move, and I can move up 1 on here, right? With one of the.
Correct.
So just get myself started on the. Whoops! I didn't mean to flip that.
Little sleight of hand.
Yeah. And back down. That should be it for my turn.
Yeah, unless you want to take free actions, then let's move
I'll
on.
wait till I get a second meeple. Do I want to reset any of these for next round's green? So I don't need their set yet. Okay.
All right. So onto the merchants, and we have the same first player.
All right. You want? I'm going to go ahead and refresh the green resource here, and then flip it. That's going to get me 3 actions then.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So let's go ahead and we're gonna probably get
For me, the classic here is always just the temptation to just zoom along and refresh everything.
Yeah, that's kind of what
And
I
I'm
was
always
like.
fighting that temptation because then I run out of steam because my engine sputters. But
Yeah, I was trying to say, do I get a book and then one refresh? That's the question there. I think for me.
and it also depends what guilds are coming up. Like, how well do you think you can roll that forward, or do you think you'll run out of steam if you commit? That's
Yeah.
the
Yeah. So I was
rub.
thinking because we're a long way from that one, so I don't want to do that one. So I'm looking at probably at least refreshing the red, if not, and then I can refresh. You know what? I think I'm gonna just have to do the 3 refreshes because I'm like I have too much I can't do otherwise. So yeah,
So you can
one.
get 3 refreshes anywhere. So the real question is, where do you leave the wagon?
Yeah, that's the question. Um, it's really not much
Just
I
because of the
can.
way it's set up, it'll give you 3.
Yeah, and there's really no way for me to not have it beside a red or a blue here. But I can leave it on a red or a blue though. So that's what I'm going to do.
Okay.
And yeah, that's going to flip back over one of each for me.
Reactions?
Nope, I'm good there. Well, I wouldn't say good, but I am done there.
So I will flip to move myself up, give myself
So the
5.
very, very first thing that happens is you're going to
Oh,
get this popularity.
Yep.
This one's me.
Just because it occurs before your free actions in case it lets you take extra ones.
Uh-huh. And then,
I think that's actually 6 because you have a book flip.
oh, 6. So that does change my plan a little bit. Okay. Well, I'm spending 2 to go here. Getting down 4, which is flipping this. So this goes up.
Mm-hmm.
And then I spend 3 to go here. And I take this resource. And then 1, and I can flip this blue. And do I want to do free actions? Next action is going to be red. So I will do a free action to do this, to up my, to use this scroll to up my red. So I'm set for next round. And I think that's it.
All right. Well, we're on to the adventurers and your day in the sun as the first player.
Okay. And I can't get more than 8 actions, I assume.
You could even get 9 actions if you felt aggressive with your meeple.
Ah.
Because the only way to get 9 is to have a book showing a +1.
Mm-hmm. I think I will just get myself to 8.
So you can sort of work your way back from space 9, or at least know where you're going,
Yeah.
I'm going to make myself a cup of coffee. I will return. So
All
if you
right.
have any questions, I will be back in a moment.
It's pretty. That'll go here, which removes this. And then I go here, gain one. I'm gonna go here, so I look at 3 of these and pick one, right? Purple meeples. Sorry about the noise. So what's their swappers go? I don't remember. I think they just.
I assume they kind of go over here.
Oh yes, yes, that makes sense. So that's just the end game scoring. And next stage, I go advance on here, which means I can put a challenge down, which is going to be this one. Hmm. I don't remember what the value of the numbers are. What matter?
For which one?
I don't remember what it matters which number I choose. I don't remember.
I mean, that's how many points you get right now, and that's how many points that challenge is worth to either of us later on.
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Spot, but that's all right.
Yeah, it's good enough.
So I get 4 points, which is here. And go on, I go a couple on here. A big turn. Now I have to decide which direction I want to go. Go this way. Get an ink.
Okay, if you have any lingering things, I have returned.
Then I get to go up on an ink. Oh, I have to put an ink on that. That's
Yeah, if you want to use that scroll, you have to put an ink on the communal board.
yeah. What color should we? Purple. Yes. And then the last movement here, get 3 more of these artifacts to choose from. We'll just take that one. Let's see what I can get later.
All
Okay,
right.
that's my big turn.
All right.
Yep.
Well, mine's considerably less exciting. I'm only getting up to 3. It's got no free actions. So yeah. So 1, 2. That's definitely gonna remove 1 from here, and then I get an ink, and yeah, it's the gray one, huh? Gray and the red one. That's tempting to bump up popularity again, but I don't know if that's going to do enough for me. So I'll go with my third movement here and take this one.
Mhm.
All right. So now I have my free action. Do I go up 3 popularity or not? I think not at the moment. I think I can hold off on that. All right. So that's it for me then.
Okay, so the wheel's going to rotate on.
And I'm back to being first player again.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We're in the purple here. All right. I'm going to flip because I need to make some moves here, I think. And yeah, you know what? We'll do that. So we're going to spend this guy here. Go here. That's going to get me an ink.
Mm-hmm.
I got 2 points left in action, and I will then take this one. And
Was it the green one you were grabbing? Just because you moved it there, I mean, if not, never mind.
no, I was going for the one that gives you the book flip.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I know. I was thinking about the green one, but I kind of needed. I think I need the book flip because I'm then going to drop it here, get another ink, or do I want the popularity? What? I think I need the ink, so I'm going to take the ink. All right, and then free action. I will get my 3 popularity, which is going to go up there. Gets me the gray meeple, and I'm then or do we still have one more person there? Does that still go up?
Yeah. So this moved up to 4.
Oh, okay.
And now we're gonna pull out 5 new. I'll let one of you do that.
Okay, we still have one meeple here. Does that still?
Yeah. So once you get down to 1, this goes up, and you pull until there's the correct number. So 6. It's 3 per player.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to ask if that happens now, then, or all right.
Yeah, it happens immediately.
Okay. So all right, now I've got 3 different logos on here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well then, why do I do my second free action then to go up 3 more popularity, which will then reset back down here, and I will then take red meeple, which then gets me a set, which then gets me 1 bump on here.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's it for me there.
There's a color maples I wanted to come out, but that's all right. But I will go free action to flip my. Sure. Don't need the. Purple also doubles as brown. Brown's already passed, so I'm not that concerned about that. So I will just flip this, give myself 5 actions, which I'm going to do. I like these flips. Although it's getting later in the game already. Take this one. Oh, actually. Oh, so it's going to go here, basically, and here. So we're
So
going,
just with the 2, that's going to give you a new meeple.
yeah, so it's going to get 2, get a new person, and then it was 1.
Mhm.
And I get 1 new meeple. If I take a different color other than red, I get to flip something, but reds are worth points for me at the end of the game.
If you take a red specifically, you can refresh your red resource.
Oh, yes, it's
If
equal
you,
sign.
if you take a different color, you can take a step on the Queen's Ambition track.
I had it backwards. So, yes, I'll refresh that. And end of turn actions. I could just bring them both down to,
Yep.
if I go here with them, right?
And that'll just straight push the bar 1 stage up.
Yeah.
You got it.
There's no way to get them off later, right?
Correct. They're now stuck there for the rest of the game.
Okay. That's it.
All right. Well, we're on to the builders.
All right. Well, let's see. Do I want to do any of these first? Not yet.
You have a book flip waiting.
Yeah, I have a book flip waiting. So I can get myself a +1 on this action. So I can basically get myself 3 or 4. And there's also book flips here too.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I think I
Because
do
if
want to
you
get
get
myself
4,
to
you
a
can
4. Yeah.
place that and a house.
Yep. I was also looking, I could. If I don't place a house, I could place the bigger one. But placing a house seems.
The
Yeah.
other benefit of a house is just that it clears a meeple space that has an additional book flip under it.
Yeah. That's also what kind of was looking at too, because I was like, I could do that. I can, yeah, but I can, no, I can not give him that opportunity. So yeah, let's do. Let's do the book flip and flip the resource. So that's going to get me 4.
And then this red guy's got to chill out.
Somewhere, yeah. Yep, that's really the only place he has to go. And yeah, not too upset about that because it was like, yeah, he's going to give me points there. So
there's your book. So now you're got your +1.
oh, yep. And
Stupid stuff.
Green or red book flip. I think the green's going to help me.
Yeah, it also depends what you want with your house.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the green book flip's going to be the way to go. And then house. Let's see. So either green or favor. But green bump will kind of help me in the 3rd year, maybe have a little bit more of an engine, I guess. Feels like that's something I probably should have done, sooner, but. But yeah, you want? Let's go ahead and feel like maybe getting the challenge. Maybe just go for points because. And I don't feel like I'm getting either of those, but that one feels possible. Both of those feel possible to me. So we'll drop that there and then drop my 3. That's going to get me 3 points.
Mm-hmm.
And what's this one here on this side here? Is it?
Oh, okay. So yeah,
Oh,
that's
you
at
have
a
to-
big nexus point now. This is to end the game at space 10 or higher in the dungeon.
All right. In that case, then let's not put that there. Let's put that up there. That feels better for what I'm doing.
All right.
All right.
Now, if at the end of the round we are tied on the Queen's track,
The player on the bottom.
Okay.
Is in the lead.
so whoever advanced first.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good to know.
All right, and then that was my house placement. Then do I want to do any free actions? No, I think I'm good. So yep, there you go.
Ooh, yeah, I'm not happy. Huh?
Why not?
Most I can flip is get up to 3 actions, which will just give me a 1 size. But I will do it. Okay, so free action. Going to flip one of these, flip it again, get myself 3 actions. And
Oh, I assume you mean for the builder. Okay. This one for this.
oh yes,
Yeah, unless you're changing your action to the historians, which I think this should have gone down probably.
yes. Yes, so for some reason. Okay, gray and brown were confused for some reason. So yes, I will simply do the simple. I'm gonna do that, and I get to put a house on there.
Yeah, does he have to put next to any of them? Or I thought once we started placing, or is it near the edge?
Edge or orthogonal.
Okay.
They're both good.
So I get to,
Okay.
Sorry, if you want to reconsider where you went, if you only went there because you had to.
Yeah, I was going there because I thought I had to.
and hold off then.
Yeah.
And then I'll just unflip your book real quick. And now you have a clean.
Yeah. I'm still doing that same thing then. The question then is
Here, just to make things easy for you, let me roll that back as well so you don't have to
yeah.
hunt it down.
And then that puts me back there, yeah. Yeah, in that case then, because I think two bumps down there gets me out of that. So yeah, actually I'll do this. So it gets me
Okay. So 2 on the council track.
yep,
So
2 on the
be
council
1
track.
popularity. And
Popularity.
1 Queen's Ambition, which is a challenge.
Yep.
And we can put it back the same way.
Yep.
All right, I'll take care of that.
All right. And then that's both of those bonuses.
That's
Then
one of those bonuses.
oh yeah.
That's this one.
Oh yeah, that's
So
that
now
one
you can put something into your
into the blue. Yep.
and get it immediately as well.
Yeah. 2 popularity gets me another meeple. That gets me another bump on that track, which also I'm kind of wanting to do because if I can get 2 more on here, I then get the base scoring here. It's just, or I have to get to here to get the 2 to
So
1.
you're already getting 1 for 3.
Yeah,
So
but to get the 2 to 1, I need to get 2 of those bumps.
you need 3. You need to get above the.
Oh yeah, I need to get 3. Okay, yeah. Yeah, do you want, because that's going to combo into 1 and then it's going to give me another one when we take that action. So, yeah, let's do that. Oh, there we go.
And then now you build your house.
So now I build my house and I'll take a blue bump on that one.
And then now you're out of action points.
Yep. And then I'm to the free action and I'm good on that. All right.
Okay, so same thing, I'll get my 3 actions. So I am going to change that.
Your house, sir.
Yep.
Saw it floating off in the distance.
Did somebody fling it? I mean, I could do that for you. You know.
So if I go here, I get 2 popularity if I cover the popularity.
Correct.
So better in the last round. And I can't tell you numbers. Now I'll stick with what I had originally planned. So I will go this on brown. And
Okay, we'll give you your bump up for that.
oh yeah. Okay.
And bump up for that. All right. Any free actions?
Nope.
All right, so we're on to navigation. And orange is first again.
All right. And I've had so many different ideas of what I'm doing here, but I am going to do the free action, flip over the blue, and let's go ahead and give myself 6 actions here. And I get 1 bump over here because we're doing that action. All right, so I got 6 points to spend. So that's basically I could do 2 bridges, 1 tower, and 1 point left over.
Yeah.
All right.
Or just straight up 3 bridges.
Or straight up 3 bridges, yeah.
Or I guess 2 towers. That's also a play. Never mind.
Yeah, I was about to say I don't.
Oh yeah, I guess you could technically go here.
Yeah.
And then.
But yeah, no, I don't think that's what I'll be doing. Let's see. So that's 3. Let's see. The question then is, which one do I want? Because, I mean, that's not the worst thing, taking one of those. Because then that makes it so I decide the last action. Which that would be fun, I guess.
Yeah, unless unless they're able to grab 2, so that would.
Yeah. Which he could. He's got the resources for it here. So instead, let's go with original plan, which is getting popularity.
Yeah, it'll auto snap. Yeah, it
Yeah.
rotates itself.
So that gets me
Yeah,
2
that's
on
2.
population or popularity, which then gets me another meeple. Let's see. I've got 2 red. I do want a 3rd red. All right. And then I got 1 more place. And yeah, might as well go here. Get bump up on gray. And then I'll go ahead and place a tower. Or I could go for the 3rd. Let's see. That's what. Yeah, we're gonna go here, and I think I'll take the blue one and get 2 more popularity.
Mm-hmm.
And then I get 1 bump down here, which then gets me a one of these. Yep, one of these guys. And you want? Here you go. Nah, I don't want to give you a point. The question, but then do I want to give myself a point? And I think the answer to that is yes.
Oh, there you go. And then I presume you're not sending your red guy through, so that takes us to next turn.
Yeah, wait, what I got? Oh, yeah, I'm not sending him down. Yeah, you're correct. Yeah.
Well, in that case.
And then because you did not gain a Queen's Ambition, we know that the Queen's Champion will be black, and you get to choose the 7th action this round.
Okay. So I'm gonna flip. Well, I'm building a road and a tower, or a bridge and a tower, rather. The only way I can do that, unfortunately, is if I get the Queen's Ambition. Let's see if either of these work for me, but that's okay. The red one, hope that pays off later. And I get, well, it's Queen's Ambition and then 2. The Queen's Ambition doesn't matter, but. Okay. It's back down.
But it is to you to go ahead and decide our 7th action.
Which is going to be brown. All things, mainly because I get to, well, not first player.
Okay. Well, then I'm going to remove resource, and I guess I will. Ooh. I'm going to remove that one. Thanks.
Okay.
And yeah, that's all I've got is one ink and or one there and no other. So yeah. So unfortunately, it for me there.
Okay, so my open thing up here goes up one,
Hmm.
and I get to remove. Well, I get 3 actions. This probably was a dumb one to choose, but I remove one, and then I gain 2 from the 3 actions. And then my free action is going to flip one of these back over. Okay.
All right. So then that's the end of the year then.
Yep.
Is.
End of the year. So
that,
the first thing that'll happen is Orange is going to pick 2 on the map or 2 on the guild to swap. You don't have to swap, but you are eligible to swap.
yeah, that is a good question.
You're also going to be entitled to 1 ink from the dungeon reset, so I'll give you that.
Yeah, I think I do want to swap. The question is what do I want to swap?
And then you can gain and remove 1 ink, so you can basically just do that. In higher player count games, when players swap, they also have the option of locking 1 tile in place, so that players don't just immediately undo everything that you did.
Yeah, no, like take backseats kind of thing.
Right.
All right. Yeah, the thing is, I don't know if the order of these are going to.
Well, it'll have a pretty big impact. It's all about what you're going to be able to roll forward into subsequent actions and turns. And
Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to figure out. What's going to work the best for me there? I mean that's gonna. Yeah, do you want? Let's go ahead and swap these 2 out here. I think.
mm-hmm. All right, and that'll bring us to the top of the round, where you are the first player again in the builder section.
All right. That would get me. I'm in the 2-to-1 then at that point.
Yeah, I know the game looks big and like there's a lot of stuff going on, but it's all a lot of the same stuff in different places. So
Yeah.
usually once people get going, there's not too many questions about.
Yeah, so the question I'm trying to figure out is which of these things do I want? And because I mean,
and
I'm
even
definitely
then also looking at what are the challenges at the end of the game you're going to score and trying to kind of spin the last round bringing that together.
Yeah, and that's definitely one of the things I want. Because I kind of got an idea of at least one thing I want. Oh, did this refill then?
Oh yeah, it should have.
Yeah. All right, so I got 3 points, or no, 4 for gray. I think I definitely want a resource bump. So I feel like.
Or 6 technically if you spend your ink and refresh and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
That's what I was trying to decide is like, do I want 6? And actually, when you do 6, so if you do the 4 and then place a house and pay 2, Is it just the one specific spot you place the house in, and
Yeah,
not like
yeah.
the whole?
There's 3 spots on here that I could go,
Yeah.
and that'll give you 1 bump in something and 1 Queen's Ambition always.
Okay. So yeah, do I think I will do that? Bump and then flip, and that's going to get me 6 points then to spend.
Mm-hmm.
And then the question is do I load up on the purple? Or the red? Because like if I do green, that also kind of helps me. But no, yeah, I'm definitely doing one of these though. I don't think the book flip is going to do too much for me, other than what it'll give me a minimum boost, but that's going to be kind of a little bit late for that, I think.
Yeah. You might be able to squeeze this guy in, or one of those 2 in.
Yeah. Which I think that might be the way to go. Yeah, let's go with that. So it's going to get me 1 bump there, and then one of those 2. All right, so 1 bump up here, which gets me to the next tier, which is definitely one of the things I'm looking for.
Yeah, and then now the question is if you stop or if you make that final push on that track specifically.
Oh, yeah. Let's see. So, then I get to place
So
a
a
house.
tradition in the display, or
Yeah, and
sorry,
I think,
a tradition or an artifact in the display specifically.
yeah. So right now this is going to get me points. Yeah, because I don't have a whole lot of ink or ways to clear it, but let's see, I can pretty much take any of these.
Just depends on what you need,
Yeah. I mean, getting more popularity, getting more meeple colors is not going to hurt either. And also, I kind of need to get one of these. I was really wanting one of these blue ones here anyway. So for the seal, but I also want 5 different seal colors. So I got what, 1, 2, 3, 3 different seal colors right now.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So I kind of want to get more of those. I can do that with him. So I'm going to take. Yeah, let's take this one.
And it has to go in the.
Oh yeah, I have to go into the
2
lowest
spot.
one. So yeah, that gives me 1 popularity.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And then the house, I drop it here. It gets me a green bump. And
you're
also,
paying 6 or you're paying 2 for the house or 1 for the house?
I'm paying. That's the question. I think I'm paying 2 for the house because 1 isn't gonna. If 1 would got me like a 1 spot, then I might have done that. But no, yeah, I'm gonna do the double. So.
All right.
And then free actions, and I'm not doing anything there.
All right. So it looks like it's over to black.
Okay. So I'm gonna do free actions to do this and this, so my red goes up. And I will refresh this builder. Spend it immediately. 3 actions, go back down. 3 actions. And my 3 actions are going to be 2. Want to do this one. And flip my red. Okay. And that's my 3 actions.
Okay. And looks like no free actions, so we'll move on to merchants.
All right. So I got 3 actions here. And yeah, I think I'm just pretty much in the unlocking 3 resources business again.
Yeah, it might be a little late to go for the 4 bar raises, so that's probably the way to go.
Yeah. I mean, getting a bar raise could help another action, I guess. Because I could bump one of these and actually start at a 3 for one of these other ones that are not. That's not happening. That one is.
Yeah, I just mentioned it was too late to actually hit the 4 for this guy, because
Oh yeah,
you would need 6 flips at this point to get there.
yeah, and that's not happening. Yeah, so yeah, that's good. And I think I'm staying with the just flipping over 3 resources because yeah, it's gonna be
Okay, and then
too
go ahead
much.
and park the
Yeah, and
cart.
let's go ahead and park him. I guess there.
You got it. Over to black.
Okay. So I have 3 actions, nothing I can spend to get more.
You do get your 2 popularity first, though.
Oh yes, my 2 popularity. So I get that, and I get. Matter what color work there, not really. I never got the colors I really wanted. Like plus. And then
Red, huh?
oh, you know what? Actually, brown would be better than gray.
He doesn't have to move through just yet if you don't want to send him.
And
so this is where I don't know that it's a good move, but potentially changing your action will make sense because your red is pumped up. So yeah, changing your action is something that'll happen usually 0 to 2 or 3 times a game.
yeah. Well, red's coming up next anyways.
Right. So if you swap to red and then did it for 5, the next round you could do it again for however much.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. And that costs.
It'll cost your red resource to change to the red action.
Oh, okay.
And then it would move you, looks like 5 spaces.
Yeah, then the next one I get 3. So I get a +1 on red right now, right? Yes. So I'd actually get 6 and then 4.
Oh, right.
But if I do, yeah, I get slightly more. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so I get 6 for red actions.
We'll drop this down.
Oh, but my green's also pumped up, so it doesn't make sense. So
Yeah.
now I'm up.
And you could also do it in reverse, where if you end up not wanting to do purple, you can
Yeah,
go back to red.
probably what I'll
That's
end
where
up
the
doing.
minimum bar raises really help.
Yeah.
Is if you're really feeling cheeky about it, you can hit something 3 times in a row.
Mm-hmm. So what I'll do is I will stick with the green and use it to do my flips. So if I go this way, I can.
Yeah. And the one unfortunate thing is that is a quote wasted push. So like when this moves up, it won't additionally push your.
Right, but I'm trying to get to my 4 bottom.
Yeah, of course.
See, hopefully I can make it. And then I have one more to use to move that.
Unfortunately, you have to keep going, so it would actually land
Oh
on
yes, I
the.
can't do that color. I have to do brown. Okay, yes, thank you.
Yeah, that or technically, instead of doing this, you could advance on the track and place a counselor.
Which,
If you don't want the resource, but it's not bad. So
no, I'll keep the resource.
okay. Gonna guess no free actions for you.
No.
All right, so we're on to here. So black is first.
Or okay, so what we're gonna do is I can pump up my red. It is at 9. And so I get 9 movement. So yeah. So gain 1 around 4, no, gain 1. Okay, here to this. That track. Now's the side of time that matters. I want you. Okay. Go up here, move the scribe.
I think I might have heard you mention 9. You do only have 8 steps because you lost your +1.
Oh.
Yep.
Yes, that's correct. Sorry, Aaron. What do I want to move? I don't know. Do this, I can go up 3 here. And then spend an ink to refresh a red. Here. This. And then go here. And then it's on here, which gets me another one of. So I have 2 brown and 2 red. I do have 2.
Oops. Yeah, I got to turn snap off on these. I'm not sure why they're
And
snapping, and that's 3 points for you.
yeah. Hey, I guess I'm done.
All right.
All
Over to
right.
orange in the dungeon.
Yep. Yeah, let's go ahead and get up to 3 here in the dungeon. So remove and then probably take an ink. I think that's the way I want to go with that. Thinks or no, actually, oh, there was something else I was thinking. Oh, yeah, because I had him here too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that then makes the question is, do I save that for the blue or use it now? I think I use it now. This is going to give me 2 more here for red.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to give me 5. All right, so it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that's fine. All right, so still got to remove. Go with that one for popularity, or because that's going to get me another meeple for sure, and then gets me. Yeah, I think that's where I want to go. And I get one, and then see which one of these do I want. I think I want to take the red and brown meeple one because I'm going to go down here. 4, I then go up here, which lets me place out my third one of these. I do not. I guess this one's probably most likely to happen. Although I don't feel confident on any of those happening, but it's at least going to get me 2 points, which is good for that. And then the 5th one's going to move me to there. All right, and that's it for that then, right? Yeah.
Yep. And you are still in the driver's seat in the Historians Guild.
All right, I'm definitely flipping that over for the Historians Guild. And so yeah, right now I got 4 different seals, and that's going to give me the 5th seal. And the question is which one do I want? Let's see. I got 3 total, so that's going to go down there. All right. So yeah, I can't really move one. And we've got that action coming up. So let's go ahead and take that one then. And we'll take an ink. Well, not 3 ink. All right, there we go. I mean, I wish hey, if you grab and carry the whole stack, you get bonus ink, right?
Yeah, the dexterity expansion.
Yeah, the Meeple Circus expansion,
Oh yeah. I was this close to designing a dexterity character for Merchant's Cove, but we decided against it.
All right. So yeah, I think that's then everything. Oh, we didn't refill that. That might matter, I guess. Yeah, we're
And
on the
then
purple.
reactions. And then, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, let's go ahead and go with 4 there, which that's going to bump me up, give me a worker.
Okay. Then that's going to move this up.
Yep.
And I believe it's going to leave you 1 short of the next one, too.
I thought it was going to leave me because it was at 4, so I was going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. So I was going to be exactly where I was at. Or no, I have 5 different ones now. Yeah. Oh yeah, you're right. Yep.
Yeah. So that'll
I
put you
forgot.
there, 1 short, and then the next refill of the boat is like that.
Yep. And then I got second free action. Let's see.
I only have the colors I want.
Yeah, let's see. I want to get. Let's see. That's could technically, and yeah, I'm spending this one, but I'm trying to decide: do I want that bump up? That's gonna be a scribes, huh? Yeah, let's go ahead and bump up scribes. And yeah, that's it for my free actions then.
Okay.
Okay, so I am going to use this to reactivate red instead of the purple, which gives me 5 movement on red.
Mm-hmm.
First one is, do I get to, wait, how many?
I'm sorry, you're just a little quiet. This
I
is a
get to
movement
move
on the council
forward.
track.
Is that 6 times? Or how many?
Just once.
Just once, oh, okay. Which gets me another person out, which at this point, I might as well just give myself a point.
I don't think you want to do that. I think you want to give me a point.
No, no, no.
Are you sure? I mean, that would be the swagger move.
Yeah. If you did that and still won.
Yep.
Gonna give myself an ink. Then I'm flipping a page, book rather, which is gonna be the brown book.
By spending that ink.
Oh yes, by spending the, which has to be on. And then it was moving 5, right? I moved 1, 2, 3, so forth. So here I get one of these.
Seal choice.
What colors do I care about? Brown, I guess. Oh, actually, I do have brown already, right? I'll just pick one.
Yeah. Well, if you're going for 5 different, that one won't get you there.
5 different. Let's see if I can get 5 different. Oh, there's that. Okay. What colors do I have? I have
You're missing blue, it looks like.
And I'm
Yeah, you don't have blue or green.
or green, so doesn't matter a whole lot. I'll take the blue, see what happens. Oh yeah, that makes sense because I can do this, which gives me 3 more. So 1, 2, 3, and I take a green. They are not equal, so I go up on the whose favorite track.
Mhm.
And that would be my turn. And, end actions. I will go here to get the green, and here to flip my brown book to push this up and get my 4th advancement.
Mhm. That is. And that's going to take us to the scribes.
All right. So, yep, I got 3 actions here. Hmm.
Yeah, it's all about chasing them challenges now.
Yeah.
Or
And,
whatever your end of game plans are.
Yeah. Well, I kind of messed with some of my end of game plans here.
I think I might be winning, but I'm not sure. This is a lot to keep track of.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how I did not spin that earlier, but I'll have
I
the
think you
great.
just refreshed it when you were in the merchants and happened.
Yeah, and then I didn't. Yep, that's what it. Yeah, that's what I did. Yeah, I think it would have been better spent having actually just gotten the popularity for that instead. I actually then would have been better off. I wouldn't be sad panda at the moment. All right. Um, so that means I'm gonna do that then, I guess, because that's gonna at least give me that. I can then do that action and get
Yeah,
something
I
out
usually
of it.
spend a good portion of this game cursing myself for
Well, I
the
like it because
decisions I made.
it has like a lot of like at least options, and I do like having a lot of levers to pull because I kind of like sometimes just it's like, all right, let's see what happens if I do this silly thing.
Yeah, and you can kind of let the game just walk you through and just like play every action as well as possible, and but it's really when you start trying to break the cycle or push one thing really hard that some wackier stuff starts to happen.
All right, well, I'm definitely doing the scribe action, which is pretty simple right now. I mean, I could clear all of them off, but then I don't have any to spend, so that seems silly.
Mhm.
So instead, I think I'm going to at least get 1 ink here. And then probably clear and get a 2nd ink. That seems the way to go. So the question is then what am I clearing? And we didn't get a blue here, which that was unfortunate. That's kind of what I was hoping for. All right, if I take that, that gets me that, which I don't want that. So, but if I do that, I can at least do that in the last turn. All right, so I have now completely lost what I was doing. All right, so it's my turn. and I have.
And you're trying to decide which remaining ink to clear.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to do. I don't want to clear that one. That seems silly. So, and that seems silly. So this one I have all 5, so that one gives me the most popularity. So let's do that one. All right, so now I'm at free actions. And yeah, let's go ahead and go up 5 popularity.
Yeah, just stay right in that spot.
Yep. And let's go ahead and take Red Worker. Put him here, which is then going to bump me up here. And then we're going to go do second free action. Go here. That's going to bump me up 2 more, which is going to be enough to get me 1 more. And then I will take the gray.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Then that's both of my free actions at the end then. So, that's it for me then.
Yeah. And to be clear, you can take as many free actions as you want.
Oh, you can?
It's just there are 2 free actions, meeples and ink.
Oh, okay. I was thinking that there was only 2. Okay. Does that change anything? Not really.
Well, they
'Cause I
can
can
always
just
move through before your turn unless something is
yeah. So yep.
limited.
I'm yeah. That's and there's no limited item I'm going to get there. So nope. I'm good then. Now, if you have more than 2 players, I assume there's more of those seal tokens that are
Correct.
out there then.
Yes, there are.
So I'm guessing the last space in this dungeon or maze thing is you get to move up for as many as you have remaining movement.
It's based on the round. So when
Yeah.
you move
Okay.
into that spot, you just get 3 Queen's Ambition.
So not as good.
No. I mean, it could be like 3 points if you're already at the end of the track.
Which I will be, but I was hoping to get 5.
Yeah. No. No. Come on. Let's.
All right, but it's scribes, so that's going to give you a
Oh, yes,
navigation
above
track.
And so basically, I am going to might as well spend the 2 brown because purple's not coming up again unless I want to backtrack on it, which doesn't make sense. And that gets me up to
8.
8. So I get 8 actions, which I'm going to spend 2 to clear the 2 inks. And I might as well get 3 ink back, so that's 5 of them.
Mm-hmm.
I have 3 left, so the only thing really left to spend it on are advancing this track 3 times.
All right, I got your popularity for you.
Advance that 3 times.
Okay, and then looks like you've locked in the Queen's Champion.
Yep. And
there.
I get another person out, which is going to give me another point.
I got the point for you.
Thank you. And yep, that's it.
All right, on to the navigation.
All right. So, I mean, I was thinking I could do navigation for a power of 1, but that seems silly.
It would be power 2 if that matters to you.
Oh, power 2, yeah.
But first, you do gain this because that is the current guild.
Okay, you gain that regardless of what action you actually take.
Yeah, it's all about where the wheel points.
Okay. Well, then that makes that a lot easier of a decision for me then. Well, then I am definitely doing building. And before I do that, though, well, let's say I'm going to be dropping both of these down here. And this one here just goes here. So that's going to give me 2 book flips, which is going to do that.
Rum Guild.
Oh, yep, wrong guild.
And then it'll stay at +1.
Yep. And
You
yeah, so
used the resource to change the action.
yep. And then also I got a red bump for whatever that's. It could be something,
Yeah.
I guess.
It could
Yeah. And yeah. So what was I? Yeah, doing the gray action. So I got 4 over there.
be. Mm-hmm.
So at the very minimum, I'm covering that spot because that's going to push me up to the top there. The question then is do I want both of those bumps? No. The queen one going to do anything for me? If I get any more queens, I guess it would give me points. And yeah, no matter what, I want to cover that up. Was there something with 3 houses too? I don't know if that actually is going to matter here.
There's a challenge for 4 houses, but you didn't play it.
Yeah, that's right. That'll give me 2 bumps there.
There's also, if you complete the column or row this is in, it's 1 point.
Yeah. Yeah, since I don't need the queens and I don't need the resource bump, because I mean, I have no idea specifically which one he's going to go with. Spending all 4 and completing a column feels like that's probably worth more points to me.
I mean, 1's better than none unless you have some other.
Yeah, and 2 popularity bump isn't going to be enough to get me anything. So yeah, this feels like the play right here.
Okay, so we'll move you up immediately on the track.
Yep.
And your green book will flip in case it's relevant.
Yep, I mean, it could be. I basically got enough where I can maybe do something on almost every action he could choose. Yeah, so then I don't have any bonus actions after that. So I think I'm good then.
Yep. That's all.
Okay. So I will use an ink to flip my blue back over. And use it immediately. So I get 3 actions. And which I'm going to use those 3 actions for 2 bridges. Oh, that's right. There is the one more. I have to choose what the final action is, which can be quite important. Oh, okay. So this is going to go here, and this is going to go.
Did you gain this bump?
Oh,
I don't recall because I was
I'm
trying to
pretty
do the
sure.
math on whether you could make it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Because I was like, oh no, I can't make it.
Okay.
So I am going to move up twice on here, which is 2 points, and I am going to get. Is it not?
Where'd you go?
I moved up twice on here.
This is popularity.
Yeah.
Well, it's for, because I did this.
Yeah. That's
Right.
still popularity. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, yeah. Not 2 points. Okay, I think I might have screwed
Oops.
that up.
Oops.
Yeah, I think I did that wrong before, too. Once before. Do
But
I
that will
wanna do
push
that
you
then?
up to 4.
Can I make it another round, and do it matter if I make it another round?
Yeah, well, if you take one of these 2 meeples, they could potentially help you because you're choosing the 7th action. So that's, I guess, the real consideration here.
Yep.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna get them no matter what at some point.
Okay,
So yes,
so
I am gonna advance 2 there, but this question is, do I want to get the 3, or I could advance 2 more and get a point and a, yeah, no, I'll keep with Lazarus. Okay, so 3 more, and I get the purple guy. And his question is gonna be whether I actually think I can make it again, which I might be able to.
All right. Well, that's the end
Yep.
of that round.
Yep. So
Alright.
last thing will be the Queen's Champion will choose the last action of the game and then final scoring.
It seems like a waste to brown and green seem kind of wasteful.
Are there any challenges you're just short of?
Uh,
No, you would need a blue and a green to
yeah,
make that work. Yep.
I
So
could get myself 3 points by doing the.
yeah,
red,
I mean,
which is
actually, it would
pretty
be
good.
4 because it would give you 1 on the track plus 3 from here.
3 from advance, yeah. So yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll do red.
Okay. And you're first because that's the action you have claimed.
Mm-hmm. And so I just simply go here, spending 1, and then I have. So I
So
have,
spending 1 gets you there, and that gives you
yeah,
3 points.
which gives me 3 points, yes. And that gives me 4 remaining. No,
Yes.
yes, 4
4
remaining. So I might as well move up here 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, which gets me
Is 1 more point.
1 more point. Another person out over here. I don't think it matters too much where it goes.
And then 2 popularity. So you're 1 popularity short of glory.
Oh, 2.
Oh, I just moved you the 2. I'm sorry.
Oh,
You're
you
at
did
4.
move me already. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. Not that I need the other person. Well, yeah, I kind of.
It's a point at the very
Yeah.
least if you throw them in here.
Which then I can spend my 3 actions. So I'll do this. That gets me 5 points since I have all 5. Or 5
6. You
popularity.
actually have everything.
Is that points?
Which will do this. It'll give you a guy. You'll reset, and then you'll be 1 short of another one.
If I do not equal, then I advance. Yes, I'll do the green, so it's not equal, and I get another point for advancing on the
Mm-hmm.
Queen's favorite track. And the next thing, that's not useful.
Yeah, and they're just
Portion
worth
of-
1 point apiece here.
Yeah, I might as well put them both down here and get 2 points.
At the end, don't
Yeah,
get them
okay.
now.
And I can move something up, but not it's gonna matter.
Yeah, it won't do anything. There's no tiebreaker. If there actually is a tiebreaker, and you're already winning it. So
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
So final action of the game. Bring us home, Orange.
All right. I don't like any of it. But I got 3 points to spend. What it's worth. So I can move a guy over here, which unfortunately I'm not far enough to have gotten a point off of getting the Queen's favor. Getting an ink to then refresh a resource doesn't seem like that's going to help me out too much.
No, you can't push any more popularity.
Nope. So I might as well just go for 3 from the back because it's here. Green and blue seals. I think we're both tied on that, so that's
If you're tied on both, you're already getting 3 points from this.
okay. Is putting it over here just giving you private ones then?
They're always like you're the only person who can score these. It's just the
Ah.
tie is friendly as far as checking it.
Okay, so if I did take this one though, then I would then deny him the 3 points from it.
Nobody's going to score these unless they're taken.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean theoretically, yes, if the game wasn't over. Also,
Yeah. Yeah. So I think
yeah,
I'll
I
just
think
go
that's
down
about.
this path and then see if I can just draw one that only I'm going to benefit from. I guess.
So once again, only you will benefit from this.
Oh, if I take that one, yeah.
Yeah, you will just score 3 points because you're not being beaten in either.
Yeah. Yeah, because we both have 1 blue and 1 green each. If I remember right. Yeah, because he doesn't have any on his. So yeah. Yeah, yep, that's what I'm going to take then. Go that way. But then I also get to move a guy here. I mean, sure, I guess I'll take an ink.
Yeah, it won't do anything
Yeah.
at this point.
I did forget that those are majority. But oh well.
Okay, so at this point, I can now run you guys through the final scoring. So super quick, we're going to get 1 point for Orange for having a house in a completed column.
All right. Let's see here.
Next, we're going to check our unique colors of meeples. So this is 2 points for black and 2 points for orange because you both have 2 unique colors. Next thing we're going to check are artifacts. So from the top here, it looks like you won on purples but not reds for 1 point. You won on greens for 2 more points. And then you tied on both of those, so another 3 points. And then I can't actually see this one because my game glitched, so...
that one's brown for 2 points.
And it looks like you have it because you're tied. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, now over here. Green and red, you get the full 3. Blue and green, you get the full 3. And then I can't see this one.
That one is red and brown meeples.
Okay, so yeah, 9 total from all of yours. So 3 for each. All right. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to check the relic cabinets. We'll start over here. So we're going to add up all the stuff you have. So you have 2 of these. You have 3 towers for a total of 5. And you have 1 red symbol for a total of 3. Or I'm sorry, a total of 6. And you are in the 2 for 1, so you're going to get 3 points.
So I'll get.
Yep. 25 points, yep.
Yeah.
Okay, and then over here, you're in the 1 to 1. So your 1 silver is worth 1, your 1 blue is worth 1, and your 4 traditions are worth 1 each. So a total of 6 points.
Yep.
And the last thing is the challenges. It'll come down to this. So we'll start here, and we'll just go through. So 2 red seals and then position 10 or higher in the dungeon. Did either of you score that?
Nope.
I am 10 or higher. Do I have 2 red seals? I think I do.
You only got one
No,
red
I
seal.
don't. Okay.
All right. Next is 10 or higher in the dungeon and 4 bar raises. I do believe black has that for
Yep.
4 points.
Oh, did you give me the 4 for the earlier? I mean,
Yep.
the 3 for earlier?
Yeah, when you placed it, yeah, I did.
Yep, so you're at 29 now.
Okay, so now 4 bar raises and 5 different seals.
I have.
Looks like black
Yep.
also scored that one.
Yep.
Yep.
So it's 4.
I'm sorry, I didn't check this. 3 blue meeples nobody got.
No.
No.
Space 10 or higher in the dungeon and 3 towers placed.
Yes.
So
Yep.
that's another 3 for black. 5 meeples in the holding and 5 different. Nobody. 3 red and 5 different. That'll be 3 points for orange.
Yep.
3 red meeples and 2 blue seals.
Nope, just short on that one.
2 blue seals and 2 green seals.
Nope, also just short on that one too.
And 2 green seals and 3 white meeples.
Nope, I had the 3 white meeples, but didn't get the second green seal.
Yep.
Yeah, he got that green seal. That would have been huge for me there. That was a 6-point swing, or at least 3 point. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, when you took the 4th red meeple, I thought you locked up the game at that point because it denied both of these, which could have been big over there. But this is definitely a game where from game 1 to game 2, players usually see a pretty significant increase once you realize how to sort of read the challenges and how to adapt your own game and how to preserve momentum so you don't kind of sputter out in some of the early rounds.
Yeah, I forgot
Yeah,
how
that's the ball game, and if there was a tie, the Queen's champion would have won.
I really liked it. I think it would have done a lot. Yeah, it would do a lot better in the second playthrough because I forgot how a couple of the things worked. Like I forgot how these worked and base scoring worked. Artifacts and so I didn't do those quite right. I didn't maximize them.
Yeah, a big part of the game is sort of like, in general, the player who plays, quote, more game by the end, just more action points, will usually be in a better position to win. Just because the whole game is like, all the stuff that scores is stuff you're doing anyways. So the game wants you to sort of play it as hard as you can and then just turn certain parts of your engine on via competitive checks, personal checks, or the challenge thresholds.
I think focusing on this maze for me, I was just like having one I had focused on really is what pushed me a little ahead.
Yeah, I was intentionally trying not to do the whole get a ton of book flips to see if I could stay competitive, which I did. But yeah.
Yeah, I think ultimately, if you had just done a little tiny bit more engine stuff, like gotten one of these bars up earlier,
Yep.
And or even getting your last symbol here, usually after the game you could look at 3 or 4 places where it's like, oh, I missed a few points here, and especially with the challenges, the nexus point here from you.
Yeah,
I mean, there was big miss if you were able to scoop those 2.
Yeah, I mean, one of the ones I missed, I think I could have, if I'd done things a little bit differently, I could have gotten the green meeple before he did and gotten the green seal, and that would have been the point swing right there. Because then he wouldn't have had even missing that extra symbol. He wouldn't have had the 5, so he would have missed out on that 4, and I would have gotten 3.
And there's, at least from my perspective, I guess I'm biased. There's a lot of sort of subtle player interaction in terms of like when stuff is being denied or left and how long you could let something go before you finally have to grab it. Because as you mentioned, the green seal was sort of floating here for a while.
Yeah.
And
Although
there
we
was
didn't have
definitely opportunities.
didn't have the green
Yeah,
meeple to get it. Yeah, and like him getting the one of any color ones also kind of that helped out too there. Yeah.
Yeah.
right.
And there,
Yeah, any system that you push hard on, you could potentially get some rolling benefits from. Um, but systems will also eventually cap out. Like as you noticed, you wasted a little bit at the end in the
Mhm.
dungeon, and any of them would do that. Like you can fill up on traditions, or you could run out of houses, or stuff to build out on the map. But it really, really makes a big difference how these come out. I will say that you guys got one of the theoretical, I guess you'd call it like a slower start, going um, scribes into adventurers immediately. Has a pretty big difference than if you started merchant into builder, because merchant into builder is, oh, I got a book flip, and then I use the book flip here, and then I
Yep.
use that to get a second book flip, and then now all of a sudden I'm hitting the ground running.
I also noticed I had one ink left over that I couldn't use. If I had instead used that one action point to advance on here, I would have had enough to get another person up here.
Right, which was potentially another guy in here, and then depending on the game, it could be like, oh man, I was one green meeple short, from
Yeah.
that, which is one popularity, which is one action that felt in the moment maybe like, oh, this kind of feels arbitrary, but you really can squeeze a lot out if you've got a mind to, you can really dig into it.
I think the big thing is like on your first playthrough, you're gonna focus on a couple ways of scoring and kind of forget about other ones. Second playthrough, you're gonna pay attention to a lot more of the ways of scoring.
Yeah. Although you went
Right, yeah, and
the funny thing is, I was even thinking about if I would have gotten the red book flip, that would have given me the +1 movement. I would have then ended up on space 10. Like, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of economy things that I could have done.
See, but if you don't, I was paying attention to that. So if I wouldn't have taken that action if you could have gotten to space 10.
yeah, and that's where some of that subtle, like, there's reasons to look at the other player's board. You don't have to. I mean, people definitely can play this game head down. I don't think it's very effective though, because if your head is down, you're gonna miss out on, like, I guess I'll take purple because it's kind of good for me, but it turns out it's amazing for the other player,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and that kind of stuff can definitely happen.
And we didn't take good advantage of like swapping the colors on the board and I think we could take much better advantage of that in the future.
Yeah, the moment you sort of get a plan, there are the tools to sort of set that in motion.
Yep.
And I always find it interesting to look at when I play which things I felt lacking in and how I could have like made up for that. Because like while you were a little bit drained on economy, you were also hitting the meeples really well. And then while your economy was going well, it never flipped over into meeples because you had a lot of unplaced. These are free efficiency spots essentially, that could have helped with some of your forward momentum. But yeah, it really is like carving out a strategy based on what the wheel looks like, and especially in higher player count games, taking first player at key times can really matter, because you guys might have felt that sting. Like I usually feel it here in the merchants when the player before me goes and parks on the one thing that I need, and it's like, like it's rough. Or even, if I only have 3 action points or 4 action points and I really want to get a red flip and refresh my red resource, now it's impossible. Now I can't sort of make the math work. And then also there's stuff that will evolve upon multiple plays with the challenges too. You can be really aggressive with them, blocking other players from creating good nexus points. And there's also some strategy to, like, maybe you put out your 2s early to like bait your opponent into going for those and free up the space for you to go for the stuff in your hand that you're going to go for. And then in a 2-player game especially, all the challenges are always in play, so you can sort of read, like, what are they going to do. You start to learn the break points, like, 3 meeples is the break point, whether that challenge is coming out or not. So but yeah, I mean, I hope you guys had a good time.
No,
Thanks
definitely.
Thanks for the invite.
Yeah, I mean,
can't
it's been
wait
a lot
to-
of fun. I've really enjoyed it. I mean, I'm a sucker for economy, games, especially when they start putting in other wrinkles, like a little bit of, you know, uh, area control-ish, I guess, with the Blue Guild there, and like there's I like games that have like a lot of those like different, kind of mechanics and getting them to work together.
Yeah, and we tried not to go too heavy on the mini game thing. So the hope is that none of these systems feels like a self-contained system or method of scoring. It's all just a piece of the puzzle, and you might be able to leverage one of them really well. But like, I don't think the placement on the map is like it's cool as part of what's going on. But if I was actually making a game with mini games, I would have wanted it to be more sort of self-contained.
Yeah.
But what we found through development was that because of how kind of insanely swingy the actions in the game could be, there are times when you're taking actions at strength 1, there are times when you do strength 9, and then the next turn you do them at 6, so you're hitting it for 15 in a round when another player's doing it at 1, and the game sort of had to be robust to feast and famines on any of the action tracks. So you kind of can make do ignoring any one thing in the game. I don't know how effective it would be, but it is possible. Just because the game is very elastic in that sense. Most of the stuff that you can find in multiple places, and there are ways to sort of make do without something, especially if you're wanting to double up into using multiple things multiple times. Because if you can get something onto 3 early before you've even taken that action, you again have that option of opting in a turn early, and then once you get there, refreshing the resource, using it again, and doing it at strength 5. But yeah, there's just lots of lots of decision space, especially with the free actions and the chaining, and rolling your benefits forward into additional actions that I definitely see players get better and better each time they play. I'll say that this is standard, if anything, slightly higher than most first games I see, where people tend to be in like the mid-ish 20s or so. But once you have a full table of very competitive players, they'll be hitting 45, 50 points, no problem.
Yeah, I mean, I never took an action, I think, greater than a 5 the entire time, maybe a 6, I think. And yeah, I mean, I still was, 31 there, still within striking range there.
Yeah, and I usually try to play a more lean engine. And actually, that's one of the things that we unlocked, is that there's a different central tile here, which is one of every color meeple instead of 4 bar raises. So it sort of changes the focus from, can you get that part of your economy going, to can you scoop up one of each color meeple. And that has a pretty significant impact on how the game plays and what strategies are possible. But I personally like the sort of lean strategy because it makes me feel like I'm not, quote, wasting time investing in my engine. But then I've also seen players who didn't turn on their engine until round 3. They just spent the whole time building it up, and in the last round it's like 8 action, 8 action, 8 action, 8 action, which is great, but then all the stuff they wanted to grab was gone. So it kind of comes out in the wash, no matter which way you sort of push on it. There will be usually opportunities for you to make it up.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the game. There was a lot of meat to it, and it definitely reward multiple playthroughs, paid and learning the game at more each playthrough. And I can't wait to play Evan's physical copy when he gets it. But I would like to end off with just reminding people this is still currently available to late pledge and Kickstarter, right? And do you know how long will be available for?
I believe until the pledge manager closes. So from this time of viewing, I'd say probably at least 3 to 4 months minimum, it should be available for late pledge, if not longer. But I'm not the guy who handles that, so.
Well, I want to say thank you for joining you, and thank you for our viewers for joining us, and hopefully everybody enjoyed this game and are looking into it. You guys have a good night.